Recently, I was watching a lecture video by a Carnegie Mellon University professor. He was showing a glimpse of how the systems are getting hacked. Not using a tool or something, a real hacker who doesn't use his tools. He finds out vulnerabilities and attacks them. Maybe I can show you a small peek into it. When you learn C programming, you will start understanding the memory layout. So there are four segments in memory for a program execution point of view. One of the segment is called stack segment. Whichever language you use, it's there, but you might be aware, you might be unaware. That is not a problem. Whenever you call a function, a stack frame is created on the stack. That's nothing but the stack pointer moves a bit and allocates more memory, creates more space for a stack frame. A stack frame is nothing but here there is a function fun. It calls a function more fun. Yes, C is more fun. And when this function call happens, a stack frame is allocated. It has space for the arguments of this function. It will have a space for storing the return address. The return address means which line it has to return to once it executes this particular function. That is the return address. That is stored here. Then there is space for local variables. Here, for example, we have more fun function which has a character array of size 4. If you can't see it clearly, then it calls the scanf, which is nothing but getting input from the user for that particular string. String, yes, can hold only 4 characters, but C doesn't bounce check. It doesn't prevent you from entering a bigger string. So what happens when you enter a bigger string? It doesn't truncate it. What it will do is, consider this is the space where the 4 bytes are there. So it will write the 4 bytes on its place. Then it will overwrite the remaining local variables. If you give a very long string, it will overwrite and reach the return address. It will overwrite even that, and it can even overwrite the arguments and go further. This is called corrupting the stack. It can be done in C. It won't give any errors because there is no bounce checking in C. Since all the foundational softwares are written in C, there are vulnerabilities like this which can be attacked. Why I call this as a vulnerability is, one thing is, if you are a user who wants to crash this particular application, then you can give a long string which will override this return address. When the function finishes, when it tries to return to the next line of the caller, it will have a weird address which is not actually a line of code's address, so it will crash. How can this be used for hacking? Let me tell you. When the user enters the string, if he is a hacker and is a knowledgeable person, he can enter the string with some executable binary in it. The string itself is containing some executable binary. That kind of executable binary he can overwrite this local variables and then reach this return address. At that part where it will overwrite the return address, he can give the address of the same string that he has given as input. It will corrupt everything. The return address is overwritten with the address of his own string. When the function more fun hits the return, what will happen? It will check the return address and go to that return address and start executing from there. When it start executing from his own string, what is his string? It is nothing but some executable code that can do some random things that he wants. He can attack something. He can even probably create a network connection and give the control to the hacker. This is what I have seen recently in a lecture. You might learn uh, hacking, but you will not understand the crux of what is happening during the hacking without understanding these kinds of foundational programming languages like C. This is only possible for a person with a good understanding of pointers, a clear understanding of the memory layout, and an excellent understanding of program execution. You might have certain doubts how he is able to find the address. That is because these might be code that are open source. So he can see the code, he can understand how much distance from this particular string input it has to reach that particular return address storing area in memory. And also, he might have a sense of which type of system, OS, and architecture this particular program is executing. So he will most probably understand the address of the stack frame where his string is there. There are new techniques which avoids these. There are other possibilities with which a person can hack something. Hey friend, are you still watching the video? Then I would like to give you a gift. I have created a free guide that breaks down the most common data structure and algorithm patterns. Instead of telling you how an algorithm works, this guide tells you when to use it. Do you find yourself wondering which data structure or algorithm to use in a particular situation? Then this guide is definitely for you. Grab the guide by clicking the link in the description. Until we meet the next time, this is Shivakumar aka Algo Shiva signing off. Bye.